Watchman is a custom integration that you can get through the HSCS store, which promises to help you get a cleaner system. This integration is going to create a report for us to help us find any missing entities or any broken automations that we might have. But now, let's roll the intro. So you'll find a link in the description down below to the GitHub repository and the README file for the Watchman. So we're going to go through this documentation and we're going to follow it. We need to go to HSCS and integration. So click HACS over here, this little house. I'm going to try without updating first. So I'm going to click on integrations, click on explore and add repositories. So I just typed in Watchman, we've got it here. So click it, check that this is the one created by Dummy Labs, which should be the same one as you can see in this documentation. I'm going to click download this repository with hacks. We're going to keep version 6.0, click on download. Step number 2 is to restart Home Assistant. So we're going to do that quite quickly. So go to the settings tab, system, and click restart button, which you can see right here. Now we're going to go to the settings tab and the devices and services and add the new integration. So settings, devices and services, click on add integration and type in Watchman and then click it. So this is all done. You don't really need to give it an area, so just click finish. So now click on the developer, click on services, and you can search for watchman.report. So this will create a file report. So you can see it's sort of toggled, so the true by default. Send a notification when the report should be sent. Notification service. Okay, so I'm just going to simply just call service and try it out. I'm going to click on call service. Now if we click on go to YAML mode, you can actually see it's super straightforward. We're not using any parameters at the moment. So now we need to find the actual Watchman report.txt file in the configuration directory. So to access this, you can either use a file editor, a network connection, for example, with Simba, or you can use Visual Studio Code. Okay, so all of these are like add-ons. So if you're new to Home Assistant, you're going to need to add a couple of add-ons. Anyway, click on File Editor and go on this folder, and let's scroll down until we get to the point where we see this Watchman. So we've got Watchman report right here, .txt, generated on today, the 7th of January. So we can click on it and we can see the Watchman report. We have 2 missing services from the 46. Sonos.join missing. I think because I moved it into this parked files area. And you can see we've got 104 missing entities from 256. So it's like 50% really are missing. So we can see a huge amount of issues or problems that we can work through. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of troubleshooting and trying to understand what's going on. So there's one over here that's unavailable and one that's missing. And so it seems like the scripts.yaml has something called light.living sofa LED level and sort of li, which I'm guessing it was light. Oh, okay, so this continues on the other page. So this is sort of the full name of the entity that's missing, I'm assuming. I think this is the same thing. So yeah, so let's jump into the scripts.yaml. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to scripts.yaml, which I find here in the configuration, and I can actually either use the search thing. So this looks like the one that I mentioned, living room sofa LED level light color on and off. So we have this script which is mentioning this entity, but apparently this entity doesn't exist anymore. So what I can do is I can go to developer tools, I can check states just to confirm it. So I can filter on the entity ID, and you can see there's literally no entity available for this. So probably it was deleted. So by looking at a lot of these, it seems like they're either in specific files that I've created, like YAML files. Some of them are in automation files, some of them are under scenes, some of them are like just in the configuration of YAML. So bear in mind that some of these might be legitimate. For example, I have 4 Hue bulbs in the master living room, and because I haven't got a smart switch in that room yet, then that actually means that when the light's off, they're unavailable. So unavailable does not necessarily mean it's wrong and you need to delete it. So I'm not going to bore you by going through and fixing 130 issues that I had, but I am going to make a future video on running this again and seeing like what were the improvements on my system performance with a cleaner system compared to just going wild and having it a complete mess. We all know in principle that it makes sense to have a clean system, but is it worth the effort and the time that it might take to clean it up? If you have made a mess, is that going to give me any benefit in terms of performance? I really hope so. Home Assistant has been quite stable lately. It's been really good, but sometimes I've had some issues, and I try to tend to let it run on its own as much as I can. Now I want to show you something else that this integration can do. You can actually get this report directly into a dashboard, which might be a bit easier, to be honest, to read. So I created a test dashboard. We're going to be using a card called the Markdown card. So if you click Add Card and search for Markdown, if you've never used this Markdown code before, you can actually click on this Markdown cheat sheet. It gives you a bit of an idea, but it's a cool way. For example, these double stars equate to a bold, and you can see the example on the right hand side, and the left hand side is the actual code. Remove these stars, the actual bold goes away. So you can actually customize a lot of things. Again, the link is over here, but what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be integrating it and getting some of that Watchman code in there. So again, in that GitHub link that I've still got linked below, you can actually just copy and paste this code, which is conveniently there for you, and you can just add it in simply here. So if I click save, I'll show this to you in a bit better way. I click done. You can actually see the whole Watchman report. Now it looks like it's sort of limiting maybe perhaps to 100, because I had more than 100 in the actual .txt file. So maybe the card has some sort of limitation. So it shows you here this like, okay, this is what's missing, and this is where the script is. Now this looks like a hyperlink. Now for me, the hyperlink doesn't click to anything. So either there's some sort of configuration that we need to do so that the hyperlink is clickable. Let me know if you know in the comment section down below. So I'm going to quickly explain this to you in case you wanted to customize this. There are HTML tags, so H2 and H3, for example, refer to the paragraphs that you can see. So the Watchman with this little icon, this MDI part over here, right? So if I were to remove this, you can see this icon removes. So that's what I would do is if you're new and you want to understand how this works, you just try to delete pieces out and try to modify it to see how you can actually customize it. So it's fine to copy and paste, but it's also great to delve into it. This part over here is sort of called templating. So you can pick this up and put it in your templating editor. You've got a nice for loop. So basically for each item that exists in this state attribute, so there's a list, right, of attributes that are missing in the center, and this is just basically printing them out one by one, and it's printing it over here, right? So that's what this is doing. This TD TR part is like forming a table. There's a bit of code around this little icon. This cloud with this bar in the middle is I believe, right, so it's this second else if, and I figured it out not because I know the icon names by heart, but if I was just to change it, you see that disappeared. So I know that these basically are unavailable, and the ones that I'm missing are the one with the exclamation mark. So that could be also useful, and you actually see it. I was going blind. You can actually see it over here in the brackets. So that's sort of super clear. So there's some additional code. There's card mode. Mod is some additional formatting and things that you can get again from the Home Assistant community store, like we originally got this from, so we don't necessarily need it. So one way that you can actually use this to be a bit more interactive with you, for example, you're able to send this report via Telegram. So if you do use Telegram for your notifications, then this might be actually a great use case. You really have two options. Very simple to set up. As you can see, you're just using the same service, watchman.report. And if we're in data, you're basically capturing this service, which is the send message service of Telegram, the Telegram underscore bot, and you're just passing some message. So this is the title that you're going to receive, and then you're going to receive either an HTML document, or you can just do an equivalent and just basically send a text file. So you would just use file and set up the location where you have your Watchman report stored. Now, if you wanted to keep like a history of the Watchman reports, in the settings, you can actually customize the names, and you can do that with the report location. And you can see that you can change the location, so you could have different locations, or you could just have, like, for example, a timestamp element in your Watchman report.txt, so you can track your reports over time and you can sort of see the difference. There's also other options, like sort of ignoring certain type of entities that you know that are always troublesome, or even certain states. So play around with these options. Let me know in the comment section down below what were your results and if you were shocked by them. We are very close to 20,000 subscribers. Maybe by the time this is published, we've gone over it. I really want to say a massive big thank you to everyone that I've viewed the channel, even if just for 1 second. You've taken some of your time out to watch these videos, and I fully appreciate that. Anyone that's ever commented, subscribed and liked, you guys are amazing too. And all the Smart Home Makers members, you have been giving me a massive amount of fuel and energy to actually carry on making these videos. I hope you're going to enjoy my next video, which you'll find over here, and I hope you've had a good one. See you next one. Bye.